If you like my videos, click like. And please don't forget to subscribe. Just push that subscribe button. Thank you. Hi everybody, it's Mama Eadie. How are you today? I want to talk about dogs' yeast infections. They can get it in several ways, in their ears or in their skin. And there are things that can be done at home to help prevent it, or to even help get rid of it. Now, I told you one time vitamin E, but one of my dogs does have a yeast infection in his ear and on his skin, and the vitamin E is not helping, so I'm going to try the advice that I found today. The yeast infection occurs when the immune system spectrum balance is in the middle, and that's what you want your dog's immune function to be, balanced. So you definitely, if he's got allergies, you get this kind of problem. If they have long, hairy ears, they'll probably get this kind of problem, especially if you don't dry the inside. And the doctor will probably prescribe steroid therapy to shut the immune response. This improves symptoms but does not fix the underlying cause of the allergies. So you can get rid of it, but it's probably going to come back. When your dog's immune system is turned off with drugs, it can do its job of regulating and balancing normal flora levels, so your pet ends up with yeast blooms. When conventional vets see dogs with allergies and possibly secondary skin infections, often they prescribe antibiotics. Antibiotics are well known to destroy all good bacteria along with the bad, so wiping out healthy yeast levels in the process. So these drugs often make a bad situation worse, which in my case, I have taken my dog to the vet. He gave me medicine, he gave him shots. So, I've done the vet thing. So don't be writing letters, oh my gosh, get your dog to the vet. I did. It didn't help. I did exactly what he said. Not only that, I did it again. So, no letters, please. The signs and symptoms of yeast is a definite diagnosis by a vet, or a yeast infection is accomplished either by cytology, looking at the skin swab under a microscope, or by submitting a sterile swab of skin to the lab where the cells are grown and identified on a Petri dish. But as a pet owner, you'll be able to tell if your dog has a yeast infection just by her smell, and that's what I noticed. And you have to excuse them. The one that's barking is actually the one that has the yeast infection. Maybe he's letting us know about it. Yeast has a characteristic odor. Some people think it smells like moldy bread. Others liken the odor of cheese, popcorn, or corn chips. Mine don't smell good. I'll tell you that. It doesn't smell like that. In fact, some people refer to a yeast infection of a dog's paw as Frito feet. It's pungent, musty, unpleasant smell. Yeah. The odor of a yeast infection is normal, not normal, doggy odor. Healthy dogs don't have a doggy odor. So if your pup has sticky paws or musty smelling ears, chances are she's dealing with a yeast overgrowth, and I can verify that. The dogs that I do have that don't have a problem don't have any kind of odor when you go to clean their ears or anything. Now my other dogs are going to play. This is going to be fun to try and do. Another sign your dog is yeasty is scratching. Yeast overgrowth is tremendously itchy. If it's a problem with your paws, you won't be able to leave them alone. The same goes for ears. A lot of butt scooting can also be a clue. Hey guys. Zab, please. If your dog is spending a lot of digging at herself to relieve intense itching, take heed. Whether it's bacterial or a yeast infection, she needs help to solve the problem. In this case, it's a he, by the way. Step 1 in cleaning a yeast infection, address the diet, which I am going to do. Did not know this part. If your pet is dealing with yeast overgrowth, there is a couple things you need to know. Number 1, you must address his diet. It's rare that a dog has yeast in just one spot, which, by the way, mine is just in the ear. I'm sorry, no, mine, one of them was. This one is the whole body. He's got problems with his skin too. Yeah, the other one has gotten cured. Or especially if the entire body is yeasty, you have no choice but to look at what he's eating. Diet is the foundation of health. The way you nourish your dog is either going to help his immune system, manage yeast, or it's going to feed a potential or existing yeast overgrowth situation. I encourage you to put your pet on what I call an anti-yeast diet. The beauty of an anti-yeast diet is it is also an anti-inflammatory and species appropriate diet. So I will try and post underneath my video a place where you can go find some of these recipes if you want to make homemade food. Yeast needs sugar as a source of energy. Carbohydrates break down into sugar. Both MDs and veterinarians advise patients with yeast to get the sugars out of their diets. Dietary sugar isn't just the white kind added to many pets' treats and some pets' food. There are secret hidden forms of sugar that can also feed yeast overgrowth. For instance, honey. Although honey can be beneficial for pets in some cases, it does provide a food source for yeast. So if your dog is yeasty, you'll need to carefully read his pet's food and treat labels and avoid any product containing honey, high fructose, corn syrup, or even white potatoes and sweet potatoes. If your dog has a significant yeast problem, I recommend you go entirely sugar-free, feed low glycemic veggies, eliminate potatoes, corn, wheat, rice, all the carbohydrates that need to go away in a sugar-free diet. This is really an important step. I wish I could tell you yeast is easy to treat and avoid without addressing diet, but it isn't. Your pets need to eat a diet that helps keep his normal flora levels healthy and balanced. The second thing I recommend is adding some natural anti-fungi foods to his diet, like a small amount of garlic or oregano. Now, it didn't say how large amount, people, a small amount, because if they eat too much garlic, it could make their stomach have problems. These foods are both antifungal and anti-yeast and can be beneficial in helping reduce the yeast level in your dog's body. Disinfecting yeasty ears. This is actually an often overlooked but common sense, almost free step in addressing yeast overgrowth in pets. In human medicine, it's a routine for internalists and dermatologists to give patients with yeast-specific protocols for cleaning affected parts of the body. The same instructions is rarely given in veterinary medicine, which makes no sense and is really a shame. Typically, a vet will hand a client with a yeasty dog a cream or salve or a dip with instructions to just keep applying it in the infected area. The problem with this approach is that the yeast dies off. It forms layers of dead yeast on top. Yes, it does. Or dead yeast. Unless you remove the dead layers of yeast, the disinfected skin, adding loads of ointment or layers of dead yeast can actually exuberate the problem. So disinfecting the parts of your dog's body that are yeasty is very, very, very important. There's no pill or cream that can disinfect your pet. You must do it yourself. If your pet's ears are yeasty, you'll have to disinfect them daily. Just as some people produce lots of earwax and clean their ears daily, while others produce almost no earwax, the same applies to these dogs. Some almost never need their ears cleaned, while others need it daily. The frequency is entirely dependent on how much debris your dog's ear produces. So if your lab has soupy ears throughout the summer months, you'll need to clean them every day. during that period. If you check your dog's ears and they're clean, dry, and have no odor, you can skip a day of cleaning. Again, the amount of cleaning should correlate with the amount of debris built up in the ear. If you don't clean out the debris, it won't magically disappear. It will grow from wax to yeast to accumulating bacteria infection unless you deal with it. So it's up to you, really. I mean, no vet, nobody can really help you. You've got to do it on your own. Yeast thrives in most environments and moist environments and in crevices. Between your dog's foot pads, for example, an armpit, a groin creases around the vulva and anus. So disinfect those parts of the yeasty dog is really important. Since the only body parts that sweat on your dogs are his nose and the pads of his feet, during hot humid months when yeast tends to thrive, they'll need disinfect the paws. Depending on the size of your dog, you can use one of those Rubbermaid sweater boxes filled with water from a hose, or if your dog is small, you can just pop them in the kitchen or bathroom sink. If you have a giant size breed, you can try a coffee can or a cup filled with water. The goal is to dunk the feet, then pat them dry. Spraying or wiping a dog's paws won't get the job done. Yeast lives under the nails. So, and all the creases you can't get if the paws aren't submerged in the foot soap. And here's the ingredients for that. A gallon of water, a cup of hydrogen peroxide, and 1 to 4 cups of white vinegar as a foot soap solution. You can use this solution as many times a day as necessary to keep your dog's feet clean. Clean and dry needs to become your importance. After you dip your dog's feet in the astringent solution of water, hydrogen peroxide, white vinegar, do not do sugar. There is no need to rinse. Don't rinse it. Just pat it dry. So that's for the paws. If your dog has a yeast overgrowth on her skin, I recommend disinfecting her entire body with a natural antifungal shampoo. And yes, you can do this as often as necessary. There used to be a day where they said you couldn't wash them very often, but that was back when they had tar in their shampoo and coal and that kind of stuff. You can now. Since carbs and grains ultimately feed yeast overgrowth, I don't recommend you use oatmeal-based shampoos. Oatmeal is a grain which provides a food source for that yeast on your dog's skin. Use an antifungal shampoo made from, for example, tree tea oil or herbal blend. These will help control the amount of yeast growing on your pet. I recommend an antifungal rinse, which you can use 20 drops of peppermint oil You use 1 gallon of water with a cup of vinegar or a cup of lemon juice. So you take the 1 gallon of water with a cup of vinegar and a cup of lemon juice. And then you can put 20 drops of peppermint in there. All 3 will make your pooch smell nice. So that is it for that. If you have reoccurring, you keep doing it for several weeks. Just until you just can't get, if you can't get rid of it, do it all the time. Because these dogs are miserable. I can verify that. My dog is just so miserable. I feel so sorry for him. And I will be doing this, I guarantee you. One word of warning about using both lemon juice and hydrogen peroxide: they can bleach a black dog's fur. So if you have a black-coated dog, you should go with vinegar to avoid lightning effect. Vinegar instead of the lemon juice or hydrogen peroxide. So there you are, folks. I hope that helps. If you have any questions about it, comment below right here on YouTube. And be sure to subscribe. I love you guys. I love my fur babies. As always, bye-bye.